Sure, no problem. Coming off the first quarter of our season, playing the first 3 games, playing an elite SEC team and a top team in the FCS with Maine, and then battling Minnesota this past week, a bowl champion Power 5 team. It's been an interesting start to the season for us. And, Georgia Southern sitting at a spot of 1-2, and, that doesn't always sit well at Georgia Southern. So we're working to get better out every day and try to keep developing our identity. And we're going to have a bye week this week, and so we're going to be working on what we are and continue to push forward.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Whitney with the Sunbelt Digital Network. Please go ahead, Whitney.
Good morning, Coach. You just mentioned, finding your identity, and that was something that we also talked about last week on this teleconference. But, watching the game this weekend, I do think you saw glimpses of what this team has been and what they can be. So what were some of those things that really stood out to you?
Well, we talk about all the time about our team being blue-collar, disciplined, and tough. I think the blue-collar work ethic was there. I do think there was a lot of toughness shown there. The discipline piece is where we've really got to get better at. Way too many penalties, way too many issues of hurting ourselves. We had an opportunity to win that football game, and we didn't finish. So obviously there's a lot of positives we can take from it, but we went up there to win the game. We didn't go up there to say, hey, we just want to go compete with a Power 5 Big Ten team. We went up there to win the game, and shooting ourselves in the foot did not help us. And so we got to work to correct those things.
How do you correct those things in practice when you're going up against each other?
Well, again, I think it's about immediate discipline as soon as something happens. Anytime that we make a mistake where we did it to ourselves, we're going to have discipline right away. We're not going to wait till the end of practice. We're going to do something to make sure that we point that out. We're going to make sure we hold each other accountable and just continue to work like that. Last year we were a team that prided ourselves of not beating ourselves. I think we've got to work on the buy-in piece between coaches and players. We've got to do a better job of holding each other accountable and making sure that we know how serious it is when we do something to hurt ourselves.
And obviously, like you mentioned, too, you've got a bye week this week, and then you'll open up conference play against Louisiana. Bye weeks are always important. Get your rest, get healthy. But how important is it for it to happen for you guys this week to then open up conference play?
I think it comes at a good time. We've played 3 pretty good teams in a row, and it's not been a game where you've been able to get your guys out, rest them, or anything like that. You've been having to, you had to play all 4 quarters, and it's banged our team up a little bit. So this is actually coming at a good time, and this is a great time for us to focus on who we are this week, and and then get moving toward Louisiana next week.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. Enjoy a slight weekend off, perhaps.
All right. Thank you so much.